Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today what I want to talk about was one of the longest injuries that I ever had and how I dealt with it, how ye can deal with it when like eventually you do get injured. You know, it's just a really sad reality that you can't avoid injury. You know, what any sport you do, you can't avoid it. This is for running. You're never going to, unless you're extremely unlucky, you're never going to really get like an injury where, I don't know, something that you'd get in like GA or rugby where you take a tackle and your shoulders pops out or something like that. You're never really going to get anything like that with running. It's going to be more kind of just exhaustion, fatigue, that kind of way. It's just a backstory into injuries and what I've had in my life playing sport. I've played GA all my life and I've never broken a bone or I've never had anything bad happen to me, thank God, and you know, touch wood now that that's never going to happen. The worst that it's ever come down to was a bruised rib for like what, 4 weeks, something like that, something tiny, and I came back straight away. I had tiny injuries, you know, like small little things that would just stop me playing for maybe like 3 or 4 days, that kind of way. It's only when I started running is when I started to have proper injuries that would have me out for months on end. Today, that's what we're talking about. I was only just started getting into this running thing. I was improving a lot, you know, I was seeing progress, I was seeing improvement, I had a nice routine going. When I started this, I kind of had like a time frame of when I wanted everything. In hindsight, that's probably not what you should be doing. You probably shouldn't be doing that. Like I had like a map of my life of what I wanted to turn out. You know, something, it's not stupid, but it's like, it's kind of like, why would you be preparing for like 4 or 5, 6 years in advance, man? You do not know what's going to happen to you. That's how I lived it. So I had like, oh, I want to reach this time. I had a really strict time frame of what I want my shit to be like and what I wanted to do. And to be fair, for the first whatever 4 or 5 months, it was going like that. I'd always said to myself, if I want to stick to the schedule, you don't have time for injury. Saying it like I can decide when I get injured or not, you know, something stupid like that. I was taking recovery very seriously. I was doing the saunas, the ice baths, the hot to cold showers, the foam rolling. I was doing all that, but I was doing no stretching. I didn't think I needed stretching. You have to stretch. You're never going to avoid injury anyway, but like if you had a chance of avoiding it, you would have to be doing your stretching, and I wasn't doing that. So it started off with just a tiny niggle in my calf. I noticed it. I definitely noticed it, but it was tiny, absolutely minuscule. You know, I just said, look, it's something tiny, don't worry about it, you know, and I kept going. Didn't take any days off. It was really stupid. No days off. I kept going for about a week or two, and you know, it was getting worse, like visibly getting worse, but I kept saying to myself, just push through the pain. That's a typical kind of runner's attitude, is to just keep going, and it's just stupid. Like it never turns out well, and it didn't turn out well for me. 2 weeks in, it was now like flaming. It was like burning a bit. It was like I could really feel it. What really scared me was I could actually feel it after training, so I could feel it when I was walking around the house. That's when it started to get real for me, and it's pretty scary. So I was like, okay, it's inevitable now. You know you're gonna get injured. You have to stop. But being an idiot and just like being so focused on progress and all that I just kept pushing through it. Probably a week or two later, I was limping, like visibly limping on my right leg. I couldn't stand on it. This was everything now. This wasn't just running. This was everything. This was also walking around the place, you know, doing the shopping and all that. I came to a 4-mile race. I was doing a 4-mile race. Went really well, actually. Like the thing with this injury that kind of like tricked me just a tiny bit was when I was in full on like running mode, it actually went away. So that was kind of in my head. I was like, yeah, just keep running. It'll go and it'll be fine. That kind of stupid. But did the 4-mile race. Went really well. It was one of my best races at that time. But right after it, I'm not messing, I couldn't walk on my right foot. It was awful. It was more than just a limp at this stage. I was like on my tippy toes because it just hurt to put pressure on my right leg. It was visible now, like my girlfriend was seeing it, my family was seeing it. They were like, what is wrong with you, man? Just go get it checked out. So I went to the local physio. She basically just said what everyone else knew. It was just like, yeah, lad, you're gonna have to stop running for a long time. You've done serious damage here. And hearing that, it wasn't a surprise. I knew what I was doing. I was kind of avoiding it, you know, like a lot of people do that. I was kind of like blocking it out, like, and that was a complete reality check. She said, right, we'll take it week by week. And I was like, oh my God, this is gonna take longer than a week. What? No way. Every week I went back to the physio, did a little rake of rubbing and all that. Basically gave me these stretches. When she said, oh, we'll take it week by week, I was like, fine, it'll probably take, you know, a week or two. Okay, I can survive not running for that long. So the first thing she said to me was that, look, you can't put pressure on the leg. She asked me, do I have a stationary bike at home? I did have a stationary bike at home. So she said, you're just gonna have to use that for a while. I think a lot of athletes understand this. Like when you're going from 100% effort to 100% commitment to this one thing and it's just taken away from you, it is a horrible feeling. On the mind, I was like grateful in a way. At least I was still allowed to use the bike. I could still swim. You know, a lot of people when they like break their legs, they can't do anything. So mine was just I can't run, but like running was my everything. I don't care about being on a bike or swimming, I just care about running. For the next while, I went back every week just to get checked up or whatever. In between then, right, so here's the routine that I did this was every morning. I think I was doing college at the time. I usually got up at around 7:30 for college, so I had to get up around 6:30 for this. I'd first get an ice pack and one of those heated water bottle yolks. You put the ice pack on for 10 minutes. So I was on my calf, so I would literally just have to sit on the couch, put the ice pack on my calf for 10 minutes, take it off, put the hot water bottle on. So I took 40 minutes just sitting there doing this hot to cold thing on my leg. Then after that, I went into a 15-minute stretching session of just completely stretching out my legs. Then after that, I would go on the bike for either an hour or 30 minutes. So it was whatever time I had. The odd time I did have to get up at like 5:30, and it was horrible. Okay, it was absolutely horrible. That was the daily routine for a while. So we kept going back every week, and I was like praying every week I went back that I could start running again. It was always the same stuff. A month went by and I was doing everything. Now this is the only thing I'll say, the good thing I'll say is that I gave my all for this month for recovery. I did everything I could to make sure that my leg was perfect. Time's ticking, man. You gotta get going, getting back to, you know, progress and all that, because I knew once this month was up, it's going to take me another month to get back to where I was. So it's 2 months gone, you know. So I was like, come on, let's speed this up, let's do all we can. And I did, but after a month I came back and she said, right, there should be an improvement, you know, go out and do like a 2-mile run or whatever. I went out and did a 2-mile run. I was a mile in and my leg was burning up again, and I was so angry that nothing had changed. Nothing had changed. Livid now. What a waste of my time this month was. Like, why is nothing working, you know? A pure like pity party kind of thing. I was so angry at myself. So after that, I rang the physio just saying like nothing's happened, this is ridiculous. Then after that, I decided that I needed to go to someone else. It wasn't anything bad. She wasn't like a runner. Like, this person wasn't a running physio, so it was my fault. Like, I should have gone to a proper running physio. So then I did. I said, look, I went to this other physio and just said, look, nothing's happened after this month. What can I do? And they gave me this whole running kind of plan thing. All in all, it took about 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night. And it worked perfectly. It probably took about 3 weeks and I was back to running. It didn't take me a month to get back to where I was. It took me about 2 to 3 weeks to get back to where I was. But I put that all on the stationary bike. I did so many hours on that bike to make sure that I kept some bit of my endurance. It did work, you know. I know it took me 2 weeks to get back to where I was. That was the whole journey. It did take a long time to get over it. So that was me physically. Mentally, it did take a nasty toll on my mental health, because I couldn't do anything. Like, you know, this is every injury. I couldn't go out to like my friends and play football or hurling or running or anything like that. It's like you're missing out, you know, that kind of way. Like, but everyone goes through it. Like, everyone gets injured. You know, it's basically what it taught me was you'll get whatever you put into it. I gave 100% to this recovery thing. That's one of the things ever in my life where I could look back and be like, yes, I definitely gave that 100%. I don't think I've given 100% anything in my life, to be honest. The whole physical side of it, that wasn't the most challenging part. Like, I don't care how long I spend at it, you know, it's something that I love. I didn't care getting up at like 5:30 in the morning to do this, you know, and staying up late to finish it. I didn't care about, you know, staying an hour or two on the bike when my ass is burning. Like, I didn't care about all the stretching that needed to be done. I didn't care about all the exercises that needed to be done. That's not a problem to me. If someone told me to do that for the rest of my life, I would, no problem. It was the eating really took a toll on me. When I was in this like full-on progress stage, I could basically eat whatever I wanted. Like, now I did eat healthy, but I could eat so much food because you're running an awful lot. When you go from that, I think I was doing 40 miles a week to nothing, is huge change. I think I was used to eating so much food, and then trying to cut that down because you're not doing as much was horrible. That was the worst part of it. And a lot of days I would end up eating as much as I did before, but like not burning it off, you know what I mean? That's how I dealt with this injury. Your time is coming, that's all I'm saying. You will get injured, and I will get injured again. It's just how you mentally deal with it. It will happen. You're not going to be able to avoid it, and you will get sick as well, or you might get a cold or a flu that knocks you out for a week or two, and that'll set you back. But it's just how you deal with it. It will happen. It doesn't matter how much you stretch. I think the thing with like the recovery and the stretching is that's just like buying you a bit more time. If you want to improve, and you know, in any sport, you're gonna have to push your body, and that leads to injury. It's coming, but it's just how you deal with it. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Have a good day. Goodbye.